takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries.
Sunny Hostin's million-dollar empire is crumbling after her husband, Dr. Emanuel Manny Hostin, was arrested in a massive RICO fraud case.
So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
Yes, The View co-host is struggling big time as her husband, a high-profile surgeon, is accused of being part of a massive insurance fraud scheme involving kickbacks, illegal deals, and over 200 defendants. The charges are serious, federal-level serious. But what does this mean for Sunny? Will this scandal destroy her reputation? Did she know what was happening behind the scenes, and was she part of it too? Stay tuned, because we're breaking it all down.
Only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system.
It all started with headlines that no one saw coming. Sunny Hostin, usually known for her bold opinions on The View, found herself in an entirely different kind of spotlight. But this wasn't about her. It was about her husband, Dr. Emanuel Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon with a reputable practice. What should have been a respected medical career suddenly took a turn into scandal territory with accusations of insurance fraud, kickbacks, and an involvement in what is now one of the biggest RICO lawsuits in New York.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well, doctors that want to do good.
The lawsuit accused Dr. Hostin and several other medical professionals of planning an elaborate scheme to take advantage of the healthcare system. The allegations include unnecessary surgeries, fraudulent insurance claims, and financial incentives for medical procedures that patients may not have even needed. Imagine going under the knife for something as minor as a routine joint procedure, only to later discover it was done purely for profit. That's the picture the lawsuit painted, and if true, it's going to change everything.
Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures.
For years, Dr. Hostin has built his reputation as a trusted surgeon, someone who helped people regain mobility and improve their quality of life. But now, his name was being mentioned alongside allegations of medical fraud, and the case was getting bigger by the day. To make matters worse, this wasn't just a small lawsuit, this was a full-blown RICO case, a legal strategy originally designed to take down organized crime circles. The fact that it was now being used against doctors, that's what made this case so shocking.
Like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance.
The accusations were serious. Insurance fraud, accepting kickbacks, and profiting from unnecessary surgeries. It was the kind of case that made people question everything they thought they knew about the healthcare system. The irony? This was happening at a time when public trust in healthcare was already at an all-time low. With insurance companies routinely denying claims and doctors often caught between patient care and financial survival, the entire system seemed like a mess. But was Dr. Hostin really guilty, or was he just another victim of a broken healthcare model?
Insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
At the center of it all was American Transit Insurance Company, or ATIC, the plaintiff in the case. They claimed Dr. Hostin and others had scammed them out of millions by billing them for procedures that either never happened or weren't medically necessary. From their perspective, this was a clear-cut case of fraud. But here's the twist. ATIC itself wasn't exactly known for being an upstanding player in the industry. Like many insurance companies, they'd been accused of shady practices, from underpaying doctors to outright denying claims that should have been covered. So was this lawsuit really about justice, or was it just a desperate attempt by an insurance company struggling to stay afloat?
So there are a lot of problems with it, but the notion that we are in a violent country, this country was built on violence.
Dr. Hostin's defense team wasted no time pushing back. His lawyer dismissed the lawsuit as nothing more than a meritless attempt by ATIC to recover losses. He painted the insurance company as the real villain, shifting the narrative from corrupt doctor to big corporation trying to save itself. It was a classic courtroom strategy: muddy the waters enough, and suddenly the case isn't as black and white as it seemed. But whether or not the strategy would work was another question entirely. As the case unfolded, it attracted even more attention when Joe Rogan decided to weigh in. Never one to hold back, Rogan took direct aim at The View, calling out the show for what he saw as blatant hypocrisy. He pointed out how Sunny Hostin had spent years criticizing others, only to now find herself in the middle of a massive scandal. And in true Rogan fashion, he didn't stop there. He even went as far as to joke that if you average the IQs of The View hosts, it would be a struggle to hit triple digits. Ouch.
Bullshit. I think Sunny's dumb. Is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say.
While Rogan's remarks got a laugh from his fans, the bigger question remained. What was Sunny Hostin going to say about all this? Normally outspoken and never one to shy away from controversy, she had stayed completely silent about her husband's legal troubles. No comments, no statements, not even a subtle reference on The View. For someone who had built a career on discussing current events, her silence was deafening. Some people believe she was standing by her husband, unwilling to say anything that might make things worse. Others thought she was trying to distance herself, not wanting to be dragged into the scandal. And then there were those who speculated she was just waiting for legal advice before making a move. Whatever the case, it was clear that Sunny's usual boldness had taken a back seat, at least for now. And here's the kicker: Dr. Hostin wasn't the only one facing charges. He was just one of 200 defendants named in the case, making this one of the biggest RICO lawsuits ever filed in New York. The scale of it was mind-blowing. It was bigger than some of the mafia cases that had come before it, which only added to the spectacle. Even more serious is the staggering amount involved in the American Transit case: over $459 million, which is 3 times the $153 million in compensatory damages. These lawsuits aren't just about money, they carry a strong message. Experts say civil RICO cases are often used as a way to pressure people and stop questionable practices. In the lawsuit tied to Hostin, the claims focus on excessive billing by doctors and medical services, accusing them of overcharging patients to an extreme degree. The mere accusation of being involved in a civil RICO case can be powerful. Many doctors don't want to be associated with criminal behavior, so the pressure alone can push them to change their ways. But the legal battle is far from over. The defendants in this case, including Hostin, are likely in for a long and complicated fight.
I mean, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to...
Experts say that civil RICO cases often take years, not months, to resolve. Many defendants will try to get the case dismissed before it even reaches the discovery phase, a step that alone could take over a year. If those motions fail, discovery begins, involving extensive document collection and depositions. This phase is crucial in determining whether the defendants truly meet the criteria for a RICO case, but it also extends the timeline significantly. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more updates.